Hi, this is singer-songwriter Elizabeth Edwards, and I'm just saying. Moments of clarity. One of my very favorite subjects of all time is moments of clarity. You hear about this in the rooms, 12-step rooms. You probably hear about this in some other areas of life, but I'm going to focus on how this works and what it is. Moments of clarity are those moments of grace that open up our mind and allow us to see things as they really are. And why is that a big deal? Well, moments of clarity happen because in active addiction, when you look at active addiction from the outside in, you scratch your head and you ask yourself, how on earth can they not see themselves? In active addiction from the inside out, it looks like this is what I need to do my life. What's your problem? What's wrong with you out there? I'm just taking care of myself. I'm just doing what I need to do. Stay out of my business. We justify, we minimize, and we rationalize all the behavior. And it's, that whole thing about like a frog, how to boil a frog. Well, you just turn up the water real slow. That's normally what happens. So over time, the rationalization, the minimization and justification just gets more and more lies, more false beliefs that continually reinforce themselves through the consequences of behavior. We push our will onto other people. We co-opt people into things, believing in ways that how we see the world. We become very defiant. We become very strong-willed. Addiction is a slave master, and it takes not just the person with an active addiction, it takes the people around him because of this denial of what's right in front of you. Those moments of clarity are like aha moments where you actually see it the way it really is. And they're amazing gifts. I think we get lots of opportunities for them, but we don't always see them. I believe they're the luckiest people on the planet are the people who see it for what it is. And it's one of the things I really love to hear about in other people's recovery stories is moments of clarity. Moments of clarity are very powerful, and they're usually made up of some combination of pain, and pain kind of cracks your head open and you see something that you just can't not see it. It's a hard thing to explain, but 5 minutes before I got sober, if you had told me in 5 minutes from now, you're going to decide to get sober, I would not have believed you. My worst day turned out to be my best day. I felt like such a victim when I was kind of going through those last hours. I felt like such a victim. I felt like everyone was picking on me. I felt like nobody understood what I was going through. Nobody understood me. I had every right to do what I was doing. And it was all rationalization, minimization, and justification. And I was in denial, I was in delusion, and I was incredibly dishonest with myself. And I had been like that for a while. And what woke me up was literally waking up at 3:00 in the afternoon after having been under the influence of some pretty heavy duty chemicals for about 4 days. And the truth was in front of me. I had really abdicated my responsibilities and put other people in harm's way and all kinds of things. And it was so, I couldn't justify it, I couldn't minimize it, and I couldn't rationalize it away. And even then, I couldn't accept that it was because of, what I was doing with mind-altering chemicals. So I kept trying to justify, minimize, and rationalize, and it wasn't working. And pretty soon, over a short period of time, I kept getting this intrusive thought, maybe they're right. And that's how it happened for me. It just sunk into my brain. I literally could not let go of the idea that, oh my God, maybe they're right. I couldn't get away from that thought. And the more I thought, the more it went on, the more I realized how true what they were saying was. And the more I saw how true what they were saying was, the more I could see more, and I could see more, and I could see more. And pretty soon I couldn't unsee what I was seeing in myself and what I'd been doing with myself. And I woke up. I woke up and I saw it for what it was. And that's when I knew I need to change it. I'm the one who needs to change. And thank God I knew there was a way to change, because the other piece of recovery, it's pain and then it's hope. You got to have both. If there's no hope, then where are you going to go with that? If you stay in pain long enough, you'll slip back into needing to self-medicate. So that's why recovery is so important, is those moments of clarity are opportunities for people to make those pivot points. The reason I call it a pivot point is like a basketball term. And I know somebody's really changed when I see a pivot point where they go from looking this way and they make that 180-degree turn, or maybe it's a 90-degree turn and then another 90-degree turn. But what happens when you make a pivot point is your point of view changes, the way you see it and from where you see it. If you stand in the same place and you refuse to look to your right or to your left or to turn completely around, and you just deny that there's any other way of seeing it, that's what's going on when you're in denial. It's just this way because this is the way I see it. This is the way I see it, and I need to see it this way because of how I feel, which is subconscious, and I'm not even totally acknowledging most of the time. That's how active addiction holds us in place. But the minute you make that pivot point and you turn and you see, oh my gosh, maybe they're right, or oh my gosh, look what really happened, and I can see it for what it is, that is when things change. So that new direction happens because of that moment of clarity. It's all tied together. We see it differently. We see it as it is. The thing I thought was saving me wasn't saving me. It was killing me. It's when those lies you tell yourself fall away from you and the truth is what's standing right in front of you. That is what a moment of clarity is. And it's a powerful opportunity. People ask me all the time usually about their children or their spouses. How do you get somebody to have a moment of clarity? Well, you can't make somebody else have a moment of clarity. The things that break down denial are consequences, moments of physical sobriety, where you don't have the drug or the chemicals rushing through your brain that are helping your perception stay in a state of dishonesty and delusion. So moments of physical sobriety are powerful. Moments of pain because of consequences that were naturally occurring because of a person's behavior. A lot of times, the very person that loves somebody the most is trying to prevent them from the pain, but what they're really doing is preventing them from the truth. And I know that's a hard reality, and it's a fine line because it's counterintuitive to allow somebody that you love and care about that is in a self-destructive state of mind hurt themselves, but that's what wakes them up oftentimes. And I am not talking about letting them die, okay? People do die from addictive behavior, so I'm not talking about letting people die. We call professionals when somebody's in a position to start, doing things that are going to, put them at risk for death. So we get the professionals involved at that point, 911, that kind of thing. 5150, stuff like that. Don't try to do that by yourself. That can be when I was in that position and I had to come to my own moment of clarity around family members, is I had to recognize I had some delusion and some denial myself, and I was stone cold sober. So the point being is that recovery works. Physical sobriety is the goal, and it is the starting point of recovery. Getting somebody to that point often is about your own recovery from denial. When you get out of that yourself and you're working on your own you've had your own moment of clarity, I can't do this anymore. That's the language of coming to as a codependent, right? I can't do this anymore. That's your own moment of clarity. I need to do something different and I need help. When you're there, the consequences can flow to the person, and that person can see you as an example of recovery because you're not playing the delusion, denial, dishonesty game with them anymore. You don't have to beat them up. In fact, I would encourage you not to. Just step aside, take care of yourself, and allow those consequences to hit. And when they do, that pain will oftentimes be the very thing they needed to wake them up. So hopefully this is helpful. It's just my opinion based on years of experience of my own addiction and recovery, and also my own recovery around loving many people with addictive behaviors and patterns. Lots of recovery. Addiction runs in families, so does recovery. I want to end on a hopeful note. Okay? Stay safe and know that you are not alone and people do care about you, and there are lots of resources. And I encourage you to look for them and find the ones that work for you.
Thank you for listening today. I hope this has been helpful to you in meaningful ways. I'm singer-songwriter Elizabeth Edwards, and I'm just saying.